I can't keep it up. I told him I was going to do awkward silence to start the show, and I feel bad about it. I already have been rude to people in the chat and told Honcho Fett to shut up. So I'm going to start by, hey, I saw that, Toby. I don't plan on going on to full grovel mode, but I will kind of toss out some apology action. And I figure I need to get that out of the way early, because if you're new to this, if you're watching it in replay, you're seeing this, right? If you're watching it live, you're not in yet, because when we started, it takes a little bit for the notification to roll out and for people to show up and get in the show. That is why we kind of ramble to start the show sometimes. What would you like to ramble about, TJ?
Let me unmute here. I don't know. They put us on a mandatory mask down here in Satellite.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I got that going on for us down here.
I don't see a mask.
It's made of hair. You can't tell.
Oh.
Nobody. I'm in my private yard. I can do what I want. But
I got you.
If I go outside, I'm supposed to put a mask on.
Wow. That's something else. They got the same thing here. And for the first time since all of this started, I actually put a mask on. So one of my kids had they call them virtual swim meets. So like every Friday-ish, the team will swim against another team, but instead of being together in the same pool, they will record times here, record times at the other pool for the other team, and then electronically mesh them together to see how people did. So I show up, and they had a rule. They add a little line to the invitation for this one that said, "Parents, you must wear masks." So I put my little skull mask on, the buff, and I walked in. I look around. Everyone looks at me like, "What is he wearing?" And I realize I'm the only person in the room. At least that's what I thought at that time, wearing a mask. So I had to pee. I went in the bathroom and peed and put the mask in my pocket at that point. When I came out, I did see one person at the other end wearing a mask, but that was it. That's the only time I've even attempted to wear one.
Yeah, I keep like a couple buffs in the truck, just because if I go into Publix or any of the necessary businesses, they're supposed to wear masks. They put the thing in the door.
Did you touch your face in the mask before or after when you went to the bathroom?
During and before and after.
Oh.
I'm a face toucher, man. I can't help it. Like, I'm sitting typing on the computer, and I just kind of do this. I think it started, I had a long goatee there for a while, about 10 years ago. And when that was going on, I got in the habit of messing with it. And I can't stop. I'm all the time. I almost feel like Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands. So I just, yeah. All right, so we got some people live watching now. I'm going to assume that all our folks that have been out there in the chat harassing me before we got started are here now. So I will apologize for telling someone to shut up before the show started. It was in jest, okay? As far as you know, it was in jest. So Honcho Fett, sorry about that. But yeah, so let's see. What happened before we got here? Okay, Buck Stanley was first. Good to see you there. Let's see. What other good stuff do we have? What? Okay, now you guys are starting to see why I told him to shut up, right? Yep. All right, Toby. Day late, dollar short, he says, but he was actually early. So, yeah. All right. Okay, I had to check the private chat. Mitch said, "I will not shut up." I don't know what that was about, but fortunately, I have a mute button, so he'll shut up whether he likes it or not. Right, Mitch? Oh. Now he's punking me. I didn't even have him muted. He's not going to say anything. All right. Nothing but love here. Just messing with people all the way around.
Yeah, boy.
So, interesting side topic for people who follow the show every week, and my poor planning that has me sitting here shaving, with the electric razor right before the show starts every week. I shaved early today and then forgot it was the day for the show. So it was weird, kind of bizarre how that worked out. All right. So we have an interesting panel with us today. Oh, look at that. Gun Snob is here as well. Got a bunch of people out there. G23. No, you weren't first. But, you know, if it makes you feel special, congratulations. Let's go around the room. Everyone can introduce yourselves if you like. So, TJ, why don't you start?
TJ with Gear Report down here in Florida, loving it. There you go.
Efficient as usual, Mitch.
Gear Report, Texas.
Wow. If you guys are going to talk this much the whole show, I'm never going to get a word in. Toby? Oh, you're doing that on purpose. Yeah, we knew. We knew. All right. I didn't mute Toby, did I?
Oh, wait,
No,
there we
he
go.
muted
Let's try that
himself.
again. You know, technology's hard. I'm just saying. Toby, Minor Ridge Armory, and Gear-Report.com.
There we go. All right. So, you know, one of these weeks, I want to do an experiment. I am tired of being the one running this because I feel like it would be more interesting if someone else were running this. I'm not going to put anyone on the spot and say, hey, TJ, guess what? You get to run the show now. But I will do that in a coming show. All right. We're going to have a guest host. I may even be here and just kind of sitting back, watching and going, oh, okay. Not as easy as you thought, is it? Or, congratulations, you knocked it out of the park. Did way better than me. We'll see. You never know how it's going to go. If you have suggestions or thoughts and you have someone that you would like to see run the show to replace me as the host, go ahead and leave a comment. I'd love to see who that is. Who do you think would be good? If you're one of the people who comes and watches regularly and you'd like to join us and chat for a little while sometime, let me know. If the appropriate donation is made via Patreon, or we like you enough, we may let you do it. I know it's confusing, Toby.
No, I just saw my wife walking past the front of my house heading to our cabin. I don't know what's happening there.
She's clothed, right?
Was she supposed to be?
I don't know. I don't know what
Look,
kind of neighborhood you live in.
yeah, let me check the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's good.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You know, you laugh, but I do have a camera over there, so let's look and see what she's doing. Hang on.
Oh, you don't have to tell us. Once you put that stuff online, it's online.
Yeah, good point.
There we go. Ricky Bobby. Ricky Bobby is my spirit animal. So that or Sue Sylvester from Glee. I don't know. Not that I ever watched Glee, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay. So I have done my best to derail things before we even got started because that seems to get the show off on the right foot. So you're welcome. Unless you didn't like it. Let's look at what we have going on here. So this week at Gear Report, the typical arrangement, what we're doing is looking at first. Interesting. I just read something in the private chat that blew my mind. I'm not going to tell you what it was. Yes, I will. Maybe. No. No, I shouldn't. I don't want to. Okay.
No,
Toby said
you
no.
can't spoil the surprise and stuff, man.
Toby said no. I'm sorry. I was going to tell you, and Toby said no. Sorry. Is that Gear Report with a dash or a hyphen? Yes. Okay, thanks. Good question. All right, so the idea with this week at Gear Report is we talk about what has happened, what's been published this week at Gear Report, what we're working on that's going to be coming up. So let's see, today's the 10th. That means the 3rd was the last show. We have been on a rampage posting more and more and more and more stuff. Let's see, 3rd of July, we showed the Diamondback Factory Tour. And let's see, the 4th, would have been last Saturday, so we did not talk about it. We talked a little bit in the preview because I remember Mitch saying Olight's new light was in Desert Tan, and then I saw the pictures in the article, and I was like, that's a funky copper-looking shaded Desert Tan.
That is their Desert Tan. That's exactly what I said when I saw it. I said it looks more like a copper or bronze, but no, it's Desert Tan according to them.
That's rose gold.
Yeah.
What kind of desert do they have in China?
Apparently shiny.
Yeah, that's kind of funky. All right, what do you want to tell us about it? I mean, you gave us a preview last week, but anything you want to add to it? Anything you want to give us kind of a high level on the review?
It's a nice light. They fixed some issues they had with it, but I didn't see it stand out from any other brand's light that I've used or seen. I gave it a decent rating, but the use of the light, the setting up of the light was really straightforward. I didn't like the battery being so expensive to replace, and it is a unique battery that's in that light. Everything functions as it should, so it worked like it's supposed to. But again, the only big features were like the locking tail cap. It has a USB charging setup for it, which is okay. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's well made, but nothing jumped out at me as far as, this is the light to end all lights. It's not, it is waterproof, but it doesn't have things like a strobe or the emergency light or anything on it. So it is basically just a weapon light.
Right. So is it a good weapon light though?
Yeah. I mean, I'll use it. I have it set up on my my PSA AR9 for close quarter for if I have to do anything inside, I'll definitely use that light, because with that light on, if someone's looking into it, they're blind. It is very, very bright. Very clear, very bright. Yep.
So you said it's got a unique battery. It says a single customized 5,000 milliamp hour, 21700 rechargeable lithium. So is that like a little bigger than a 16850?
I think so. Yeah, I went out looking for more replacements, and I went to their site, and they're the only ones I initially found it on their site, just to see what they offered it for, and it's about $27 for the battery.
Wow. Okay, interesting. All right, cool. Yeah, my big thing with it was just looking at the pictures going, how the hell is this Desert Tan? But it sounds like a decent light. And I've said several times before that I don't want to like OLED, but the products, the one that I carry has just worked for a year or more. This little S1R Baton 2 is awesome. It's my favorite light, and I didn't want to like it, but
I had not previously owned or used any Olight product, so this was the first time I got a chance to get my hands on one. And I mean, I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt, but having used Streamlight and a few others, it wasn't remarkable, but it was still very good. I liked it. It was solidly made.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you, sir. We're going to move on to this one. It says it's by me. How to buff out scratches in soft windows. And it's got a picture of a Humvee. It says Humvee DIY, but it applies to anything that has soft windows. So it could be boats that have canvas with isinglass, or it could be Jeeps, or whatever. But it wasn't me. It was Jason, who is new on the Humvee team and completely going nuts doing videos, and he's contributing to Show Us Your Humvee now, which is funny because I'm contributing to what started the Show Us Your Humvee series is Show Us Your Cat, which is not a Pornhub feature. It's actually a show about catamaran sailboats, and I am traveling the Southeast US filming catamaran sailboats for that show on the Joyrider TV channel. And now Jason is picking up my slack and going around filming Humvees, not just in his part of the woods, which is New York, area, but he's a corporate jet pilot, so he's flying all over the country, and that gives him the opportunity whenever he lays over someplace to hook up with people who have cool trucks and get some videos. So I'm really excited at what he's going to bring to the team. This was his first video that he put together, and for never having done a review video before, he did really well putting this together, showing how it worked and talking about it. He's got another one that is in the queue that I will be working on. It's actually what I was about to work on this evening when I realized, oh, wait a second, we've got This Week at Gear Report that I need to go do. So if you have any of those kind of windows that need polished, be sure to use something appropriate like the McGuire's number 10, I think is what it was in here. All right. And I'm going to change that. I created an author account for him today. So next time you see that, if I remember, it will be changed to show Jason Sanders as the author and not me. Okay, and then the other Jason S. that we talked a couple emails before I noticed the email address and was like, oh, wait a second, this is the Rogue Banshee Jason. And you know, he had done some FFL gunsmith type work for a while, I guess, and tried a bunch of different sight pushers, and came across this MGW Sight Pro universal sight pistol that can be configured for any number of different guns. And it's a little on the spendy side. At I think the cheaper version was like 180 bucks and 250 or 260 something for the fully decked out version. But it sounds like a pretty robust, you know, really cool investment for someone who's going to do a lot of work and a lot of sight adjustments. You know, if you're running, you know, the shop at a gun range or something, or at an FFL where you're doing a lot of gunsmith work, that looks like it'd be a pretty awesome choice to adjust sights for people without worrying about marring the firearm. So some links there. If anyone wants to check that out, I welcome you to do so. What in the world? All right. I run my Hummers like the General Lee. I weld the doors shut and shimmy to the open window. I don't need no glass polish. Okay, fair enough. You know, G-Webs isn't a small man, so I think that would be a neat video watching him get his not little butt through the welded shut door and window opening on a Humvee. So yeah, interesting. All right, moving on. What do we have here? Another Humvee one. See, I end up, this is what I'm talking about. I end up talking too much. I get other people here on the show, and then going through stuff, I end up talking too much. This is a quick, interesting one. So what you see here, Bill's one of the Humvee guys that does all kind of cool little upgrades, and he posted this one online and said, sure, it'd be fine to embed his video. He put a zipper here, you can see that on the screen, and then over his shoulder, so that he can unzip and roll the center section of that rear window up to put kayaks or anything big in the back of his Humvee. So really cool, cheap, easy upgrade. If you've got something like that, a Humvee that you'd like something like that, you can send your curtain to Bill. He can make one for you. His information's in here. Or we've got a supplies list at the bottom. You can make one yourself. So here you can see where it's rolled up and he's got his Humvee in. Pretty cool little modification and upgrade for something that's pretty annoying on a soft top Humvee, where that back curtain goes all the way to the floor. All right, so then we had a video. TJ was the videographer for this video. So TJ, you wanna talk about this gun? Is he there?
I'm here.
Okay.
I
I gave you no
remember-
warning and put you on the spot.
No, I was looking at the other review. I was like, oh, I'd click out of that one and see what he's talking about.
Mm.
No, that gun was gorgeous over at Royal Tiger.
Yeah.
I don't remember much about it. I get too
Okay.
involved in doing the video, and I let you do all the other stuff.
I got you. This one is the one that had the intricate engraving and the gold plating all over it, and there were only like yeah, and there were only like 100 of them made, and it was like really old, an 1891 carbine. I don't remember what year they made these. I'd have to go. Maybe it's in the video, but. It was really neat to see a rare kind of piece of history like that most people are never going to put their hands on something like that. So it was really neat as a gun collector who gets into the history of the guns, not just functionality. It was pretty cool to see. And we actually went through. There was a collector book that had pictures of an example of this type of gun. It was really neat to look in this book of, this incredibly rare collectible gun, and then like, oh yeah, it's the one I'm holding right here. So that was kind of a surreal experience, I thought.
Isn't that one of the ones I knocked over? If I remember.
Probably. Yep. Yeah, I wonder if there's any point in the video where so here at the end, you can see the guns in the background. And make that bigger. Does that work? Yeah, you see the guns over my shoulders. I'm not naming any names here, but someone knocked over one and it caused like a cascading gun falling over thing. And I thought Uli was going to crap himself right there. It was kind of entertaining.
I blame Toby.
Yeah, that's kind of the way to do it, Oh, and Pickle's not here to talk about this one. No, excuse me. Joe Ricklefs did the next one. So Dutch Wear Gear Banyan Bridge Hammock. So Dutch Wear Gear is one of the cottage industry hammock producers that is, he's got a pretty big following. And it's a neat hammock because the way it's designed, a bridge hammock uses like the same engineering concept as a, what do they call them? The bridges that, like the Golden Gate Bridge, that have the wires that kind of go in that catenary shape.
The tension bridges?
Yeah, that type of bridge. Yeah, so they use that to try to make it completely flat. You can see in the picture it's not 100% completely flat. The back and buttocks still hang a little bit lower, but that's pretty darn flat for, the angle that the hammock hangs between the trees. So the idea with the bridge hammocks, it's got the spreader bar at the top and the bottom, so it doesn't pinch in on your shoulders like a gathered end hammock would, and you lay a little bit flatter. And this has the bug net that is held up by two bug net suspension lines to give you a whole lot of room. So short version, this is a very non-claustrophobic hammock, where some of the other types can really close in around your head. You see this picture of Joe, it's not in around his head at all, when a typical gathered end hammock, like most people use for camping, would be like wrapped around your head. Like, I don't even use a pillow in a gathered end hammock because it wraps up around my head and holds it still anyway. You don't need a pillow. So this is a pretty cool looking hammock, and I'd love to get one and to try out. It's got this neat little camo cover that goes over it, as well as the bug net. So he rated this one pretty well, pretty high. What was it? Was it a 4 or higher? Let's see, we're up at the top. 4 out of 5. That's pretty darn high. He liked it. So maybe one of these days I'll get to try one. But if you're into camping hammocks, go check that out. He's got all the details on the weight and everything. Oh, yeah. So, Snob, I don't want to be the one to break the news to you here, but I believe it has a 250-pound weight limit. So the lack of air conditioner being a disqualifier we may not even get that far for that to be a consideration. Yeah, weight limit 250. Sorry, brother. All right, we got a bunch of people here. Looks like Defense Dead is with us as well. Welcome, everyone. All right. So the Nanook 935 rolling case, I started using this one for the camera gear and bought or asked him to send me the size would be right for an airline carry-on bag that goes in the overhead compartment. And this is perfect for that. And it's worked out for a lot of different trips. Okay, I got to address something here. Did I click the right one? Brutal man. He says, yeah, I apologize to the gun snob for pointing out that he weighs more than 250 pounds. I assume he does. He's a big guy. I didn't say he's obese or anything. He's a big guy. You know, he didn't appear, you know, morbidly obese or dangerous or anything. He's just a large human, and that hammock has a weight limit. So it is what it is. Anyhow, this case turned out to be pretty awesome. I've 3 or 4 different airline trips I've taken it on, and the wheels still look great. And you see in my SHOT Show picture that cloth case that the cloth suitcase, that thing gets beat up and really it got thrown out after SHOT Show because the wheels were falling off, and it really just didn't hold up well. And I've had that happen with every cloth luggage that I have, you know, rolling luggage that I've used. And this darn plastic case Nanook 935 barely has any scratches on it, and it's been drug all over the place, you know, in the dirt and gravel and through airports and tossed in the back of the Humvee and in the back of the van and rental cars and all over the place. And it really does great. Only thing I wasn't thrilled about was this pick and pluck, which is awesome if you're carrying the same thing every time. But you see the different cameras and gimbals and stuff in here. It depends on what we're doing. I'll take different stuff with me depending on what we're doing. So I really wanted this Velcroed in divider system at the bottom, and it was back ordered when they sent the case. So I used it about 9 months with the pick and pluck, and it worked great. I just couldn't reconfigure it easily. But now that it's got the Velcro dividers, I can change things up in a matter of, you know, a minute or two. And, you know, depending on what kind of stuff we're taking with us for whatever we're doing out in the field. So pretty awesome case. I've been thrilled. I've also got the 995, which is the big 2 rifle case, which I use it to haul the M249 that goes on top of the Humvee. So I have 1 rifle in it, but it's a big rifle, and it does awesome. I'm a big fan of the Nanook cases. They're a little bit cheaper than the comparable Pelican cases, but I think they're every bit as good as the Pelican cases. So that's what I have to say about that.
You've hauled that thing everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little less than 100% stable, I've found, pulling it through an airport. I mean, how many times have you seen me cussing at it because I'm dragging it somewhere and it gets all tipped sideways? And but that's the only complaint that I have with it. All right, Toby, finally someone else gets to talk here. Why don't you give us another, you've given us a preview of the review. Now the review's up, why don't you tell us about it? For the
preview of the review of
the
a review of the review of a preview of the review of the review. So So I've actually got it here with me, one of the two right here with me, and so I'll kind of talk through some of the things as I'm going through all this.
You want me to? You what? How about I'm going to make you bigger, and
Okay.
then we can come back to the. I just got to get to the right screen to do that.
You're gonna make me 250? I'll be 250 too.
Boom! Look at that.
Look at that. Okay, so I'm going to start out by saying I had a tough time in rating this thing because you sent that email out to the team last week. You know, redoing your gear rating.
That wasn't aimed at you. It was a
No.
So a new writer asked me, and I said, you know what? I'm going to write out what the gear ratings mean. I'm just going to share it with everyone instead of this one person.
Yeah. So Bison Jam, if you're out there, I think guy's name's Mike. Let me pull up his name and see what his Mike. If you're out there listening and watching this in replay, or if you're out there watching it live, I rated you a 3 of 4 or a 3 out of 5, only because, not because it's Matt. No. Crap, where's he at?
I thought it was like a Richard or something.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm an idiot. So, at any rate, the reason I rated it 3 out of 5 instead of rating it higher, his name is Eddie. Eddie, if you're out there watching the replay.
I was way off.
Yeah, sorry, Eddie. If you're watching the replay, I rated it 3 out of 5 because based on your gear rating thing that you just put out last week, 3 is like this is the quintessential perfect for its category, right? So this is the definition of what it is. Then, you know, when you get up to 3.5, 4, 4.5 is when you're getting up to, well, it excels in its category. Well, I had a tough time with this one because it is the category. So generally speaking, there's no competition for it. I mean, there's nothing else like this on the market anywhere to be able to compare it to. I mean, there's leather saddlebags, right? There's molly bags, there's backpacks, there's other things that are made of 1,000 denier Cordura and so on and so forth, but there's none that fit this category that is specifically designed as a Cordura style molly attached saddlebag that's, you know, designed to go over handles with it. You know, you'll notice it's offset, and I'll talk about that here in just a minute. The hole's offset. There is nothing else in the category to compare it to. So, you know, I just went ahead and put it as a 3 to say, yeah, this is going to be what everything's compared to from now on. I don't know. Maybe I should have went with a 3.5 or a 4 realistically. So forgive me on that one, but you may want to go read the article and see. But ultimately, when I got this thing, the company reached out to us, Eddie at Bison Jam, reached out to Jeff and I and said, hey, you guys want to review some of my products where he's doing saddlebags. And, you know, initially I was like, yeah, whatever, you know, another bag, it's a saddlebag. What the heck am I going to do with this thing? And so I thought, well, yeah, go ahead and send it. You know, we'll see. And I got it in, and I got to tell you, right out of the gates, I could tell it was put together very well. And you'll notice, like, even the little details, like on the back side, there's these secret zip pockets on the inside of this thing that are like hidden. And the fact that it's got the flaps over the zipper to where it's going to be water resistant, along with the Cordura, which makes it water resistant. The little touches, like the fact that he's got YKK zippers, the fact that he's got, you know, double and triple stitching and X pattern square stitching at the rigid points. The fact that he's got, you know, in a larger opening, and that's by design. He wanted it actually to be, it's copyright patent pending or whatever, where it's offset to be able to go on like a guitar case handle, like the Cedar Mills guitar case guns that I haven't gotten one to review, but they look really interesting. But they, you know, it's designed for that, and so it's intentionally offset. So point is, all the little touches, you know, the molly that's, you know, standard webbing, it's the exact same size as all the rest of the molly, it's official size. All the little details made me realize right out of the gates that it was pretty good quality, and so I figured, okay, I'll give it a run for its money then. You know, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, and I'll actually see what I can do with it. And I did. I mean, so this particular one, the brown one, ended up, it will not fit. So my only con is the pelican case thing. And that leads into what you were just talking about just a minute ago. And I'll get to the negative here in just a minute. That and the zipper pulls, I think, was my only 2 negatives on it. And that's counterproductive considering they're YKK zippers. And so who could complain about that? But I gave it a run for its money. So this one I threw over top of my Midway USA matte shooting bag that I've got, and it fit perfectly where the handle comes up through on 2 sides. and then Velcros together. And so this gave me that much extra storage for when I was going to the range for shooting competitions, or one day I was teaching a class and I had to carry 4 rifles, all the magazines, all the ammo for those 4 rifles when I was teaching that class for 2 days. And this, along with the bags on the side of it, gave me to where I could just carry the one bag and then my standard range bag with my ear and eye pro and stuff. So it's super handy. But the black one that they sent me, if you'll go and look on the review, I literally tossed that over the front of my lift arms on my tractor. I have a Mahindra 1533, and I literally tossed it over like a true saddlebag, like it was riding a horse, and just used a crappy red bungee cord and just and stuck it on there and loaded it down with cotter pins, shear pins, socket sets, tools that I would need when I'm out bush hogging. And I've drugged that black one through the ringer so far. So I've pushed it, I've been out pushing over brush with the tractor. I've used it bush hogging. I've used it out there when we were painting the cabin that the boss lady was just walking over to a minute ago, using the cherry picker and the lift cage on it, throwing it up and down and up and down, and in the sun and getting it rained on, and again dragging it through brush. That black one, loaded with some pretty heavy tools, is really just hanging in there. I mean, naturally it compresses and crushes as it's going up and down the arm, as the arm raises and lowers, because I don't have it on there very good, but it has really surprised me and held up well. The only negatives, yep, there you go, good pictures of it riding on there. I had a whole bunch more too, like some after pictures that I didn't want to get too heavy in the article, but I had some after pictures of what it looks like today after me running it through the brush and really giving it heck. That was more in the beginning after I'd only had it on there for like a week or so. But so the zippers, the con about the zippers is in the price point. You'll notice that I added the Maxpedition pulls, zipper pulls to the YKK zippers. Reason being is these zippers are very sufficient. They're YKK zippers. They're extremely large. They're extremely easy to grab onto. But for me, we all know when you're wearing gloves sometimes and you're teaching classes and stuff, it's nice to have the little pull tabs. So I gave that a con, and that is literally me nitpicking. There is nothing in the universe wrong with these zippers. They're huge. You could throw a little piece of paracord on them and get away just fine. But I threw those on because I had some around there. The only other negative is the price point. I do have to kind of say, this is a little pricey for what it is, but there's nothing else to compare it to. So if you're in need of this type of setup for whatever reason, whether you're going to be using it on your motorcycle, whether you're going to be using it on a scooter, whether you're going to be strapping it over, the something on your boat that you're going to be, let it hang over and, you want it to hold through. If you've got that use case for it, I mean, this thing is solid as you can get. It's veteran-owned company. It's solid. So I struggled with the rating, and like I said, I didn't have a whole lot of negative to say about it. So I guess that's about it.
I think it's enough.
All right.
You said a lot. You
Works for
really
me.
did, and that's what you just did is really what my vision for this show is, to not just say, here's what's in the review, but to actually go a little bit deeper and give people, more of a peek behind the curtain. And speaking of peek behind the curtain, let me change to a different screen here. All right, where is it? Oh, I got to do stop screen, and then I can do share screen and pick a different tab in Chrome. Now I want to get some feedback from the studio audience here. This is what Toby was talking about for the gears rating. So 3 pretty much meets expectations for the product type. Yeah, to your point, we don't know what the expectation is for the product type. A bit above average stands out as the top option in the product class. That's going up.
I mean, I was leaning towards the 4 because it is the definition of the class in the category. There's nothing else to compare it to. So I didn't know.
I think, and this is up to your interpretation, I think that what we would say in this case, since it's the only product like it, is then rate it against maybe what you would expect the appropriate construction to be for this type of product.
Well, that makes sense. Well, then in that case, it's a 3.
Zippers,
Yeah, but a lot of them do. And now, I did mention that other negative of the Pelican case handle. So
Mhm.
this size version that he has out now. Now, I'm not saying that he's not planning on coming out with other sizes. I don't know. I'd have to leave that up to him. But this size, the opening for the handle did not fit on any of my Pelican style cases, with the exception of the airline pull, like you've got on your Nanook. And I also have on my two Pelican. I have two. I have the Air 1535, and I have whatever the older version of the Pelican Air 1535 is, and it would fit over that pull, right? But it wouldn't fit any other handles anywhere on any of my Pelican style cases. But where I was going with that is from a construction standpoint. So then, yeah, it would qualify as a 3 because you would expect the connection points to have a square and an X. You would expect YKK large YKK zippers. You would expect. So yeah, 3 would work then.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, so let me then change back to the other one. Stop screen. Hey, there's all the people. And then we'll share screen and go back to the other tab. All right. So we're back at Gear Report. So this one, the DIY shooting table plans, really thought Jose Juan would be here. He's talked about this a couple times. We kind of showed a preview, and I haven't done the second part of this yet, so I'll apologize to everyone for that. This is a really cool shooting table that, Jose Juan is a structural designer, so when he drew up plans, he really drew up plans. And what you see here with the different shapes and relative sizes of everything and the steps and how to put it together, you could probably duplicate this just from what's here. You'd have to come up with what dimensions you wanted to build your table as, but you could probably get close. So what I will, as soon as I figure out how to upload it to Patreon, Jose Juan requested that this be uploaded to Patreon as an added perk for people who support the Gear Report channel. I have to figure out how to do that in Patreon. As soon as it's available, then the good folks who support us in Patreon, like Buck, who is here in the chat with us today, will have access to 3 different sets of plans, and these are like CAD drawing type plans with all the dimensions and everything. One for this double table, one for a left-handed, and one for a right-handed version of the table. So really cool. Jose put a lot of time into drawing these up, and those are maybe the best plans I have ever seen on the interwebs. So really cool thing, and I'm going to put that on my list for the next day I'm sitting at my desk, which may or may not be tomorrow, to see if I can figure out how to upload those to Patreon. If anyone knows how, let me know. Leave a comment, speak up, whatever. All right, moving on. What's that?
I can't help you with that one. No idea.
You could, you just don't want to, right? Yeah. So this was a neat Show Us Your Humvee. That series, we did 17 episodes, and I had a couple that were a day or two late. I think one that slipped into the next week. I just got so busy that I didn't. I ran out of Humvees to show. I only had I had the 2 that are in here. You see, one of them is a capsule. That's like a Humvee frame and drivetrain with a complete armored capsule there to dramatically enhance crew survivability, especially in the event of IEDs or like an RPG or something. Chris, that runs Granite Tactical Solutions, was a Navy SEAL, so he was out in harm's way and relying on vehicles and whatnot to bring him and his team home. And I think that is a pretty good motivator to get people to come up with new and innovative designs. So he came up with these capsules, and went through a bunch of different government trials to try to get them used. And I don't know, it seems like a bit of a failure of our procurement system that they're not being used in any of the active duty areas. So we showed that one, and we also showed Chris's, it's like half Hummer, half Humvee. He's got a bunch of custom parts that he built himself that are phenomenal, as well as a bunch of parts that weren't available to normal people. But because of what he did working on the capsules and some other defense contract stuff, he had access to some newer, better parts, Humvee parts that weren't available out in the wild yet, that he built into this truck. So pretty phenomenal truck there, with his own 4-inch suspension lift and a bunch of other things built into it. And then you see the capsule, the armored capsule. This was a prototype that after testing, they ripped a whole bunch of stuff out of it, so it looks like a mess. But it is a beast of a capsule. And I think he's got 5 different capsules on the property there at Granite Tactical Vehicles. That's about an hour and a half from me, so I drove to that. And then, let's see. And then we introduce Jason Sanders, one of the new Humvee guys. There he is. This is from a video that I'll publish in a couple days. And here he is at work, flying in and landing at some exotic location. I think maybe that was like in Colorado or something. I don't remember. But he's a corporate jet pilot. So as he flies all over the country, he will film Humvees like he did for these. M1165s from the Marine Corps. There's 2 of them that he filmed, and they look almost identical to the 2 camo trucks. There's one, here's the other one. And that is Show Us Your Humvee, episode 18. I highly encourage you to go watch those videos and like them and subscribe to the Gear Report YouTube channel and all that good stuff. Tell your friends about it. Because I'm an internet whore, so I want everyone to go watch what we published at Gear Report. I think it's good stuff. And then the last of the published reviews is an underquilt or top quilt for hammocks from Jacks Are Better, another one of the kind of upper tier cottage hammock making industry brands. And this is one from Pickle, Chris Gherkin, who's on the road on some crazy road trip down to Florida this weekend. So I don't know what's up with that. I think it was drive down today, drive home tomorrow, which is a lot of driving. But anyhow, he liked it. 4 out of 5 gears, used it in a variety of different ways on different, there's a bridge hammock there on a couple different types of hammocks. And as part of his everyday kit now, used it on the ground even. What kind of savage is he? Sleeping in a tent? Come on. Anyhow, if you're into hammock camping or camping in general, and you want to get away from using a sleeping bag and go to what the cool kids use of a down quilt, you should check out that Shenandoah quilt review from Jacks Are Better that Chris the Pickle Gherkin put out. That wraps up. Yeah, I never even put the recently completed reviews banner up. There we go. We'll put it up just long enough to say it was nice seeing you, and then we can move on to the reviews that will be published soon. So what do you guys have to talk about? Bring the panel back. Welcome back, guys.
It's good to be back.
What's in your queue? What's coming? It kind of felt to me like you were there looking over my shoulder the whole time. Not in a creepy way, as far as you know.
Oh, no, I got the that interordinance MK215 supposed to be there somewhere.
Right. Okay, you keep talking. I'm going to see if I can find it while you're talking, because
Okay.
I could have swore I edited and published that, but then when we looked for it today, I didn't see it.
I did not see
So
it
I
either.
don't know. I'm gonna assume that I screwed something up there, but I'm looking, so you can go ahead and talk about it while I'm looking.
I got the MK215 from Interordnance. It's a 16-inch PCC chambered in 9, and I tried to run it into the ground, but 1,400 rounds. I mean, just mag dumped it every damn time, and it held up. Didn't clean it, didn't lube it, nothing. It did well. So I enjoyed shooting it, and we'll read about
Did we
it.
not talk about this one? Did we talk about this one on a different show?
We mentioned it. It was one of my up and comings, and it was supposed to be published.
Okay, it is published, and it had May 31st published date. So I'm going to change that to be what? It was a couple days ago when it went live, right?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to change it to say today.
Awesome.
And then that'll put it. Wait a second. It says Trey. Am I looking at the wrong one?
Trey did a
215 ML7. Okay, I'm looking at the wrong one.
yeah, he did.
Okay, it's the next one down. Next one down. Let me see. I may be able to make this live like now while we're talking.
Too many.
Published. Oh, I see what happened. Yes, it's got completely the wrong date. February 21st. So we'd have to scroll back to find it. All right, I'm going to change it to today at let's call it. We'll call it 7:32 p.m. update, and then we'll go back to Gear Report and give it just a second to finish updating, and then let's refresh and see if it magically appears at the top. I hope so. I'm going to feel bad if it doesn't. Oh, looks like I get to feel bad. Where is it?
Disappointment.
I know. That's the story of my life. Imagine how my wife feels. Published 7/10. All right. So here's what we're going to do then. Since I clearly did something wrong there, let's search for it.
All right.
And we will search for.
You're the tech guy.
215. I think if I search for 215, that's going to pop up here. And I thought changing the published date would fix the order that I see your fence. There it is. All right. I apologize. I did something wrong there. I'm still not sure what it was.
I don't know either.
Yep. All right. So check it. I'm going to change the banner and.
Ooh, the banner's up. Whoa.
Add to stream. Look at that. Recently completed. We'll get that out of the way so we can see it. So this has been published, and I don't know why it showed up in the wrong order, but here you go. You can talk about it.
There it is. There it is. Well, like I said, we got it from Uli, and I had it for a while, and I've just been plowing rounds through it like no tomorrow. Cheapest stuff. I went from the good SIG stuff to Blazer to the Gecko stuff. I mean, as cheap as I could find it, and just mowing down rounds with it, and it did well. It like I said, it didn't come with it came with one mag, and it didn't have the last round bolt hold. So I was like, I think I gave it a 3.5 because it's solid. It did above and beyond what it was supposed to do. I didn't have any jam, no nothing.
Yeah. So let's go around the room real quick. Last round bolt hold open for a 9mm AR pistol. Is that a deal breaker for you or not?
It is not, because traditionally speaking, almost all of your current AR9s, as well as the ever legendary MP5 from H&K, do not have last round bolt hold open. Now that said, it is something you have to train to and train for, and there are some of the more modern companies who have ironed out that kink and have started being able to do LR BHO. But for me, it's not a deal breaker. You just have to train for it.
Need more training.
Training is the key. This is the way.
Yeah.
This is the way.
I fired some of them. And they have the last round, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, everybody's like, oh, we're getting it. I'm like, sweet.
They do, some of the more modern companies, because everybody, because not everybody could shoot an MP5, so not everybody knew that it was a thing, right? And then all the AR9s started coming out and getting popular, and they didn't have the last round bolt hold open, and naturally your keyboard warriors and the internet blew up, and they lost their minds over it, and so it became a rush to be able to pull that off. And so you're right, it is a thing now, and if Uli could pull that off with any of his AR9 platform, he would be leading edge with a lot of the companies. So that'd be nice.
Yeah, I'll have to ask him about that when I go over there.
But not a deal breaker. It just is what it is.
So the Diamondback, what is it? DB something 57 DBX? Is that what it's called?
DBX 57.
Yeah. So that was interesting, and they said it had a similar form factor, maybe a little smaller, but it had their initial iteration that they had at SHOT Show did not have the last round bolt hold open, but it does now. So they've used the COVID downtime to work on that. I think they mentioned that in the main interview. It's already published, and I'd actually hoped to get another one of their videos published today, but got tied up in other stuff and wasn't able to do that. So we've got the DBX 57 and the different the AR lineup for Diamondback. We'll have some explanation of their Diamond, and I can't remember what the middle tier is, and Carbon. What's the middle tier?
Was it
TJ?
Black Gold? Black Gold?
Oh, Black Gold. Yeah. Yeah, Diamond, Black Gold, and Carbon. So I need to get those videos up here shortly, but hadn't happened yet. All right, so sorry, TJ, that we had to kind of circle back to that one. I'm going to have to figure out why it isn't showing up in the appropriate order on the homepage.
Probably because I've been working on it forever.
I think it got published early by mistake. Like a month or two ago, someone clicked the publish button, which you don't have the rights to do that. So that means it had to be me or one of the editors.
Yeah.
So someone published it early, and it is still in the sequential order as having that publish date, even though I thought I changed it on the back end. Apparently it didn't change it thoroughly enough.
Technology.
Yep. Technology indeed. Okay, what else we have to talk about, guys?
Well, speaking of interordinance, speaking of interordinance and things that are coming up, I'll share my screen real quick. I know it gets complicated when you do this stuff. It's just,
I don't see it yet.
That's because I'm not sharing it yet. Calm down.
Oh.
All right, so speaking of interordinance, tell me when you can see it.
Boom. Shakalaka.
Boom. There it is. All right. So back some time ago, I guess July of 2019. So it's been a year now, actually. It's been over a year. I reviewed the interordinance AK shotguns, the XP AK shotgun. And then we had the XB bullpup, which had some challenges and had some problems. A separate conversation for another day. But where I had mentioned a couple of weeks ago that the CTS, that I had ordered some parts from Carolina Shooter Supply to performance parts from Carolina Shooter Supply, and then I was going to put the Crimson Trace CTS 3400 red dot on top of that thing, and that was going to be a thing now. And so I have done my initial run through of it. And so, I've started capturing a bunch of B-roll footage and pictures and stuff. So basically, I got the reliability kits and the oversized bolt charging handle from Carolina Shooter Supply. I'm not going to give away the results yet. But basically what you're looking at is it replaces, so if you're the original shotgun, the original interordinance performance plug looks like that, or the gas plug looks like that, the spring set looks like that, and then of course, mounting that Crimson Trace on top of that bad boy, and you can see the difference in what that performance kit, the performance spring kit looks like compared to, that big steel big steel one that has that little janky curve in the spring to where it gets off track as it's trying to recoil and push back. And then there's a more performance plug. There's, there it is, the original plug versus the performance plug, the gas plug and stuff. But short version of all that, where I'm sitting here jabberjawing, is that the Crimson Trace CTS 3400 that I'm reviewing is now successfully mounted and has run through about 200 rounds on top of that inner ordnance shotgun, 12 gauge, of varying calibers, and it has run through my 308, the DSP Armory Titan. I've run it on top of that thing already. So it's run through two separate heavy hitting, hard pounding platforms. And so far, that CTS 3400 from Crimson Trace is holding up pretty good. So in the very near future, you will see the review of the CTS 3400, near-ish future. I still want to give it more of a run for its money. And I will probably just do a bonus, just for poops and giggles. Yeah. Just for poops and giggles, I will probably do just a review and talk through of Carolina Shooter Supply's performance kits and performance and reliability kits for the XP, the Inner Ordnance XP, because it's not designed for that, right? So it's designed for the Saigas and the Vespers and things like that.
Right.
And so I was gambling when I purchased that from that company to see if it would work. And I'm not going to give away the results, but I can say some of it worked, some of it did not. So I can say that without giving away too much, and without giving away whether it made it more reliable, less reliable, what did and didn't work, and that kind of thing. So as a bonus, I will probably just do a side article and or review of that reliability kit, just for everybody out there on the interwebs who is wondering, do those performance and reliability kits work in the Inner Ordnance, the Crowell Arms shotgun, or are they just for Vesper and Saiga and those types of platforms? So CTS 3400, Carolina Shooter Supply's reliability kit, and a resurface of the ever fun Inner Ordnance XP shotgun. That's it.
That was a mouthful.
Yeah, well, that's what's coming. There you go.
There we go. Awesome. All right. What else does anyone want to talk about? Okay, here. Well, let's talk about this then. You see that, right? The Wi-Fi box. This is the little Wi-Fi adapter for the Endosnake 3.9 millimeter. Oh, here we go. Look at that. We got a camera looking at a camera.
Blind.
And that's got the little light on it. Yeah, so it's kind of neat that we've got this little hand controller here. I don't know what the button does. I should probably read the directions, but I haven't. So we can turn the light up or down, make it brighter or less bright. It's got little LEDs. I'll turn them down a little so you can see the 6 little LEDs around there. And then as we turn them like really bright or almost off. And then it is connected by a Wi-Fi. It's got this little USB with a couple different adapters on it. So for an Android, you can actually hook it up directly wired if it has the on-the-go functionality. Let me see here. Is that going to work? I'm getting my studio lights off the screen a little bit. All right, so now let's stick it in an M1 carbine barrel and turn the brightness up. And you can actually see the lands and grooves as we run that Endosnake through this, vintage World War II firearm barrel. Oh, there's some funkiness in there. I hope that's just dust. Oh, and all the way to the bolt. Bam. So this is a 720 resolution, and it's really kind of impressive to me how well this does. And you should go listen. If this is interesting to you, go listen. Clover interviewed, I'm going to turn the brightness down on that. So you see it gets real grainy when the brightness is down. And as I'm turning the wheel here to turn it up, You see how it adjusts and your clarity comes back and it's not so grainy and everything. Anyhow, Clover interviewed the president of the company and, you know, talked about the vision and what made him create this product. And it was a really neat, I think it was a Firearms Friday, maybe a month ago that he did that. So go check out clovertac.com and look for the Endosnake interview from a few weeks or a month ago. It's a pretty interesting story about how the guy that developed it was a competitive shooter. He's Canadian, but a competitive shooter, and needed something. You know, Endosnakes aren't anything new. You can get them off Amazon all over the place. But to get one of a size that'll go down a 17 HMR or a 223 or 22 long rifle, you know, like I've got a little air pistol here that shoots the .17, and this will go down the bore of that as well, and still get, you know, the light high def 720 resolution. It's pretty impressive to me. So just my initial playing with it, this thing's blowing me away. We'll see what Toby thinks when
Yeah,
they sent me a duplicate order.
Yeah, I've
And I
actually
was
got.
like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I've already got one of those Amazon or eBay specials to compare it to that I've not been super happy with. And you're right, they don't fit down the barrel of my rifle. They fit really well down the tullet and the tail line, though, just so you know. So this one may also follow that and see what happens. I mean, see if it's waterproof. Why not?
Multi-use.
Little poo, little poo, and waterproof.
So it does look like fun. But I will caution you. You know, I'm not even going to caution you. You stick that camera wherever you want to stick it. I don't care. That's up to you.
Oh
You're an adult.
yeah.
Do what you want.
Oh
But
yeah, baby.
first thing I did with it, the COVID test port, right? Like, ooh, I'm sticking this camera in the end of my nose just to see if it'll focus. And one of my kids walks in, because of course I'm doing it in the kitchen, right? And one of my kids comes in and is like, Dad, what's wrong with you? Like, oh, okay. So I cleaned it off and tried it in my ear. Like, oh, check it out. I can see my eardrum. This is kind of neat. And I had a little trouble getting it to focus correctly there. But let me put that back. That was visible. I shouldn't have done that. Anyhow,
Toby, that one. And you keep the new one.
but I sanitized it. Oh yeah, the one that Toby's getting has not been in any orifices of mine. Who knows before it showed up?
So he
It's
says. Yeah, so
like
he
I
says.
opened the package at it, like, oh, this is a complete duplicate of what they already sent me. So I sent him a note, said, hey, the first one that you said you sent 3 months ago showed up today. And then the one that you sent last week showed up like 2 days after you sent it. So I've got duplicates. Do you want it back or what? And he agreed that giving it to Toby would be a good use.
Yep, I've already got plans and ideas. We're going to run that thing through the ringer. So
That was mean, Honcho.
mean but true.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm not going to comment on that. Another use for frog lube, potentially, maybe. I don't know.
I mean,
weirded me out a little bit.
I'm getting near 50, so it is about that time.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah. Hey, again, what y'all choose to do at home, that is up to you.
I don't want to see that.
I'm not going to be.
Oh, it's definitely up something.
Who wants to see that?
Yep, I agree. Nobody wants to see it. Or do they? The internet's a big place.
There are people who pay money for that kind of thing. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. You know.
Yep. TJ, you got something. You went and picked up something a week or two ago. Did you mention that last week? What you picked up?
I did not.
I think you did.
I might have. Still pretty cool.
I was queuing you up to.
I thought you were wondering, like, did he mention it? Did he not? I got the I finally got the Savage 110 Tactical chambered in 6.5.
Yeah.
Oh, it's sitting in the office right now. I'm figuring out
Uh-huh.
everything else that I need for it.
Yep. Yep. And we talked on whatever Facebook or text, whatever it was earlier today. But I wanted to mention SIG seemed to be really down for getting some optics in our hands for testing. And then, we followed up with them. They have since hired a PR company since SHOT Show, which, dicks everything up.
Right.
But it could still be worth reaching out to the dude that we met in the SIG booth, because that was different than who I had talked to before when we got SIG optics.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna explore all avenues. Just to, I want something that I can reach out and touch. At least 600-700 yards with that. So we'll give it a run.
That's like all the way across Florida, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's see. And you have the TLR RM2 in the works as well, right?
Yep. That's on one of my my Aero Precision ARs right now. So I'm working on a bunch of pictures, and I've run it until the batteries went out, and so I'm working on some temperature testing, just doing some odds and ends. It was hot one day when I picked it up. I left it on for a while.
All right. I've got a. Oh, he's breaking up on us. I've got a SUP, a stand-up paddleboard article that is a guest post that'll be going live pretty soon. Trying to think of it. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff in the queue. We'll have to see what comes up first. You never know.
We still got the Mantis as well.
Yep.
Still in the works.
Yeah, the new Mantis. We need to get a couple of those out. Yep.
Working on
We should do that. If anyone has, I have to thumb up this vid now or down. I don't know. I'm kind of troubled that you don't know, to be honest.
I think you're missing the reference.
Oh, okay. Different one? Not the one we were talking about that you're going to make and post?
Yeah,
Toby?
that one. Thumb up.
That one?
Yep.
Yeah.
2 thumbs up.
2. Wow.
Wow.
See how Mitch rolls.
Oh, you guys are kind of messed up.
I go hard in the paint. That's just me.
All right, we stayed on the rails longer than normal tonight, so that's pretty good. Oh, that one popped up. What is this? Loading another AR right now. Went to spikes, rare breeze.
Nice build. Good job,
okay.
Screaming Skull. Good job, Screaming Skull.
I like
Rise Armament Blitz. Rise is someone that we have talked to a variety of times. And it's always like, oh, yeah, we'll do something. And then I don't know. I like them. They seem to be a good company. I just never remember when we need something. TJ, why don't we get you a Rise trigger for that? What is it? The Snowflake build, the unicorn build.
We could do that.
We should talk to Camille and see if she'll send you out. Why don't you go on Rise Armament site and pick what looks like it would be a good fit for that AR, and then we can send Camille a note and say, hey, we've got an opportunity to test a trigger.
Something light and fluffy.
Yeah. Yeah. I like them. They're nice people. Matt and Camille that run the company are super nice people, and all the people I've met at Rise Armament have been, really nice, and their guns shoot like crazy. They always have this stuff set up at the long range area at the range day at SHOT Show. So a lot of the AR people, they just have you in a pit with some steel that's 25 or 50 yards out, and you're just making expensive noise. But then Rise puts their stuff on the long range where you're shooting out to like 900 and 1,000, 1,100 yards. And I'm like, all right, throw down with your AR. Pretty awesome. I mean, they're out there with who was right beside him? Oh, I know who was beside him. You remember, TJ? You walked past Rise. Who was the next ones out there? I think Barrett was like 1 or 2 from him.
I don't remember that one.
They're pretty close to Barrett. Yep.
There's so many up there.
That is a true story.
Ticket was up there.
All right.
I don't remember.
That's right.
I've had a
All
few.
right.
I've had a few drinks since then.
It's happened. We have survived the stuff that's been reviewed, stuff that's going to be reviewed segments of the show. Now we get to the part that everyone has been waiting for, the shit shooting. So, I haven't tried the SSTAT trigger from AIM Surplus. Well, you know what? I haven't. I'm not even familiar with that one. Toby, you heard of that one? Anyone?
No, not familiar with that one.
Yep. That's one of the companies that I've never done any work with. I don't have any relationships there, so I don't
Sounds
tend
like
to
a good
be.
one for you to review.
You can.
No, Defense Stat. Saying it sounds like a good one
Oh,
for him to review.
yeah. That'd be awesome if he has one.
Yeah.
I don't have a hookup to get one from AIM Surplus, or I'd say, hey, let me see if I can arrange that. But I don't think I've ever talked to them. So, yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, wish I knew something there that would be useful. Shit shooting. What should we talk about for shit shooting? All right, I'll lead off since I talk too much, and if it's boring, you guys can cut me off and go to something more interesting. Hopefully tomorrow morning, first thing tomorrow morning, I'm going to go pick up a bunch of junk sailboats from one of the Sea Scouts just to get them out of his yard so we can break them down and throw away the junk parts and get the good parts, salvage what we can to sell on eBay, make some money for the Scouts. And then I'm going to go meet the people who are going to buy. I got a big sailboat donated to the Sea Scouts 2 weeks ago, and I have found a buyer for it. It was the O'Day 22, and it needed some work, and it was not the right boat for the Sea Scouts to use, so just not the right type. So the donor, when he donated it, knew that it was likely going to be sold. So I am thrilled that we've got a buyer that's going to pick that up in the morning, put some money into the Scouts, which they can use to put new tires on their trailers. So I'm pretty jazzed about that. As one of the people who tows the Sea Scouts boats around, it would be nice to get rid of the old dry rotted tires and have some good ones on there. And because I can't stand to not have 27 plates spinning at a time, I've got someone that I think we're going to work out a donation of a Hobie 18 to the ship that needs a little bit of work. I may have to pull a trailer down to Florida, TJ, because one of the guys that is in your area has got a spare pontoon for a Hobie 18. And I'm trying to get him to donate it, or at least give us a deal on it. So then the one that I'm trying to get donated up here has got a hole in the back of one of the hulls that's going to have to be fixed. And I can do fiberglass work, but instead of doing that, if I can get Eric down there to donate a good Hobie 18 hull, then it's as easy as unbolt a couple things, take the old one off, put the new one on. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Another
But
trip.
I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah. Well, I'm already coming.
You know how it is down here.
Yeah. Oh, did I mention recently? I'm sure I did, that I've been doing segments for Joyrider TV, the Hobie Cat channel with their Show Us Your Cat weekly show. I've had a couple of those up. So if you find really crazy fast sailboats interesting, go check out Joyrider TV and show us your cat. And you'll hear more of what you're hearing now, me yapping about stuff. It'll be sailboats this time. That's what I got for shit shooting. What do you guys have?
I'm just hanging down here.
Tell me, what have you been using your tractor for?
Everything. I've got 12 acres up here, and we've got 2 houses and a cabin, and we got just everything. Bush hogging, clearing land. I've got a backhoe attachment for the back of it, seed spreaders, plows, discs, disc harrows and stuff for my grandmother's garden. Just everything. I use it all the time. It's my baby. Oh, Mindy.
Cool. Sounds like fun. I don't have enough land to have a tractor, but so well, I say that I'm on a cul-de-sac across the street. You'll see when you get here tomorrow, Toby. There's a big flatbed trailer in their driveway, and that's for their tractor. So their tractor is probably in their backyard. I don't know what they're doing with it. The trailer's been there for probably 2 months. Last time when they brought the tractor to this house from their farm into town, they were using the mulching attachment. So I don't know if they're doing that this year or something else. But so the short version of that is I think I'm the problem saying I don't have a need for a tractor. Clearly, my neighbor across the street has a tractor. So maybe I should rethink that.
Everybody needs a tractor.
Everybody needs a tractor. If you've got any land at all, period.
Yeah, I live in an apartment and I've got a tractor.
Well, listen, yeah, there you go. See, there you go. He's got land out front. Boom, done. Well, I mean, all joking aside, so like I ordered a lift cage, a cherry picker lift cage and pallet forks for my front lift from Titan Attachments out in Tennessee, and they shipped it for free. It's coming on a 53-foot long truck, and I just drove my tractor up to the church, grabbed it, and picked it up. Just that alone, like your 2-story house, being able to lift, have someone safely lift you up in a lift cage to be able to work on the gutters, paint, get up on the roof, that kind of thing, instead of the old rickety, extension ladders. TJ, for you too, I'm sure, because I know you never get on rickety extension ladders ever, do you?
And I've done so many hoopty things.
Yeah, no doubt. But I mean, just little things like that. It's not just gardening and farming and land maintenance and stuff. There's a lot of uses for a tractor. Rear finish mowers, rear bush mowers. Middle finish mowers. Sidearm, third control flail mowers. There's 100 uses, 1,000.
A lot of mowers.
Huh? That's a lot of mowers. There's a lot of mowers that you can get on tractors. There is rear, 2 or 3 different kinds for the rear, a couple different kinds for the middle. Ones where you can swing out and cut stuff like you see the state doing. It's basically the differences. Good stuff, man.
That's too much.
I love Mindy. She's my second wife.
Well, cool. All right. Big plans for the weekend, anyone?
Going to a shooting competition tomorrow down your way, stopping by your house.
That's right. Yeah, that's at CCGC, right?
2-gun match tomorrow. I'll be running the DSP Armory Minuteman AR-15 and the Janik TP9 SFX loaded with the Taylor Freelance weight kit and the Freedom Smith trigger, Fat Daddy trigger or whatever. I'll be running all that tomorrow. So along with the G-code belt and a AR-500 plate carrier with Centurion plates. I have to check that, but yeah.
So is that because you don't trust the other competitors?
Yeah. No. The group I'm shooting with, the challenge for this shoot was bring full kit, run full kit. So we're going to go full kit, except my helmet. I'm not going to take that. It's a little too hot.
Huh. I thought you were going to be there early, though.
I am.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of people shooting it, so it'll be like all day. So.
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming it won't be over till 2 or 3 at least. I'm guessing. I don't know. But, yeah.
That used to be my home range back before they kicked me out. So
I've
not
heard.
bitter.
I mean, I've met you, so I understand.
Yep.
I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bound to happen. It just happened sooner than I expected.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, I'm just getting warmed up. Really? Already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Sunday, I've got to go in. Speaking of trailers, I've got one I'm refurbishing. I've got a utility trailer by Carry On that's about 16 years old. I've got it currently sitting in a guy's metal shop. We've welded on some D-rings. We've sanded it down to the bare metal. We've welded on some new hinges for the gates. We've welded on a 1,500-pound winch. We've welded on a bunch of crap. Light covers. We're rewiring the lights. We're going to spray it this weekend. Hopefully, we're going to wet the ground and spray it. So, got to go do that and put some new treated lumber in the floor of it. So Saturday, I'll be down your way. Sunday, I'll be down Winston way doing that. So, a little grindage.
Sounds like fun.
That's a busy weekend.
Yeah. Then Monday, I got to go to actual real work, make money.
Ooh, real work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
The world go round.
Worky work. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, guys, any comments from the chat? Go ahead and get your questions or comments in quick. I think we're about to start wrapping up. So, any other things? Mitch, you've been uncharacteristically quiet today.
Everybody's got to have their time, Jeff. Come on. You should know that, Mr. Ball Hog.
Nice. Mitch, points.
No, I was just catching up with some of the stuff in the chat because just looking at some new things when you were talking about upcoming reviews. I don't really have anything pending or upcoming. I'm just looking at something different to add and trying to figure out whether it's going to be a firearm, a blade, or something in that nature. I'm just trying to get some ideas going and seeing what's out there. I do have, what's odd is usually if I have a lower receiver, that's usually an indication I need to complete a build. I don't have any lower receivers on hand, but what I do have is a very nice Wilson Combat stainless steel AR barrel. And I have yet to use it, so I've been getting some ideas together and some parts to see, would it be more fun to do a Frankenstein build of what I have on hand, or do I want to start from scratch and do something kind of new and different? Most of my stuff is usually, I've done AR pistols, I've done them different calibers, I've done the pistol carbine. I've got a little bit of everything, but I'm just trying to look for something that I might want to do for my next project.
Gotcha. If you want to wrap a Hyperfire trigger in there, I just got a press release from them a day or two ago, and this looks different. I've not seen one of these before. They've got something new out, and they've always been fantastic to work with. I mean, we just let me know what you might want to review, and any of the Gear Report team, let me know what you might want to review from Hyperfire, or anyone in the chat, let us know what's interesting to you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this stuff is very different than what they've had before. Because you mentioned a drop-in trigger, these are not, they haven't been drop-in before. It looks like maybe they are now. Available on back order, call to order. Yeah. I don't know anything about them. I saw a press release, and it's in my unopened email that I haven't had a chance to look at yet. But it looks like PDI family and X2S family are two different types that I feel like I've probably shot these before and just forgot the nomenclature. And that reminds me, I was supposed to get a full auto trigger for the post sample M16A1 from them, and I never followed up after SHOT Show. So maybe a couple notes to Hyperfire here shortly. All right. With that, if there's anything else anyone wants to talk about, do it quick, because I think we're about to shut her down. Toby's in agreement.
Yep.
All right. Anyone have any closing thoughts, anything that you want people to check out? Toby, do you have anything on Mining Ridge Armory coming up?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do another couple webinars over the next few weeks. One on reciprocity and some on the North Carolina use of deadly force laws, those kinds of things. That's what I'm contemplating doing over the next few weeks. So as usual, just go to miningridgearmory.com. You can hyperlink over to all of my other media sites, including Gear-Report.com's page. And then keep an eye on Gear-Report.com for all the content that we produce, including some from me. Thanks for inviting me again, and see you next week.
Awesome, man. That was a good wrap up. Thank you.
Mhm.
Let's see, TJ.
Yeah, not much, man. I got
Nothing to
nothing
say.
going
All right. I salute your efficiency
on.
of
You like
yeah, I mean you're just everything, it's so tight. There's no rambling.
Plus, it's like 100 degrees out here, so I'm sweating my ass
I
off.
noticed you were outside. I was like, man, that's bold. I expected my friend Norma to say hi at some point.
No, that she drugged him up, so she's good.
I water hose.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Norma's the dog next door that's on the other side of the fence where TJ, that's behind TJ.
the devil dog.
She's a bit. She's got some volume.
Yeah.
All right. I changed it to Mitch, so Mitch can say anything he wants to real quick.
It's about time. Gosh.
To bring forth the rhythm and the rhyme. I'm a
It's always a
Let's do it.
pleasure to hang out and talk to everybody. And thanks everybody for joining the chat and for being on the YouTube and seeing our shenanigans and being part of it. It's always great. Have a good time. Take care.
Yeah, we'll certainly try. Oh, look at that. Stay frosty out there. I think that's for you, TJ. Shoot safe.
I
That
wish
is
it was frosty.
shoot safe is for Toby, since he has to be kitted up to protect himself at the competition tomorrow. Later all, stay safe all. All right. And big thank yous. Everyone, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure as always. And with that, we'll see you at the range.